In the previous lecture, we have studied the incomplete dominance, that was first exception to the principle of law of dominance. It states that from the whole conclusion, we conclude that F1 offsprings are intermediate, F1 generations are intermediate between the both the parental traits. Traits means characteristics. This is a case of incomplete dominance, and the example was 2. Antirrhinum majus, that is the dog flower or the snapdragon, and the other is 4 o'clock plant, that is Mirabilis jalapa. Now come to the point, codominance. Codominance. As for example, in incomplete dominance there were two alleles, but the human blood has three alleles, that are IA, IB and the small I. So we can first let us understand the law of codominance. It is a phenomena in which the offspring show the resemblance between the parents. Example, ABO blood grouping in human. Also, the gene I has three different alleles, IA, IB and small I, and none of the human being has all the three alleles. Any human being has any of these two, either IA or IBI or II, or IA, IB. Or let us understand now the also understand the other rule, that IA and IB are always dominant over the allele small I. So when the IA is present with the I, only IA will able to show its expression, means IA is more dominant as compared to small I. Similar is the case of IB. When IB and I are to be expressed together, I does not show its own expression, rather IB show its expression. But I when present together, then only I be able to show its expression. The reason why IA and IB expresses itself and I small I does not expresses is the reason that I small I allele does not produces any sugar in its membrane. So when IA and IB are present, both will be able to express their own type of sugars. This is a case of codominance. So from these alleles there are total of the 6 probabilities: IA, IB, IA, 3 and 1 IB, second is IA, IB, and suppose let us understand in future. Now when blood group A of and the blood group of O when combines, what will be the probabilities? When I combine with the O, means parent, mother or father has A blood group and the other one will be O blood group, then O signifies the recessive allele, that is small I. So during IAI, both the IA gametes will separate and these will also separate. Now again a fusion will take place. The fusion will lead to production of IA, then IA and combine with I. It will also lead to IAI. Here the combination IAI, IAI. From this it is clear that all the of one offspring have A blood group, and because here the IA will be dominant one while the small I will be the recessive one. So here in crossing between O and A, all progenies of F1 generation will have A blood group. Now come to the second condition in which A blood group may have IA allele, but here IA small I allele. This is case 1 and it is case 2. Here let us see what will be the probability of the crossing. So here it will cross with this IA, this combination, again IA, I combination, again is the combination small I combination, while here also means there are 50% probability that both these are A blood group while the other two are having O blood group. So these are one where here 50-50 ratio. O blood group have and A blood group both have the 50% ratio. As such, all the progenies can be easily calculated what will be the probability of any individual in F1 generation if we know the alleles present in them. Now, in the similar way, we can accept and identify all the progenies and their probability if we know the allele from parent 1 and allele from the parent 2, and the genotype of the offspring will be obtained, and as such blood type of offspring we can easily obtain. As such all will be clear. Now from the whole conclusion it is clear that the abio blood grouping is a good example of multiple alleles. In this more than 2 alleles are present. Here more than 2 alleles are present, and that is total 3 alleles are present that govern the same character. So multiple allele can easily be obtained or found when population studies are to be done. Actually you have to be clear what is multiple alleles. If in any case more than 2 alternative forms or allele of a gene occupy the same locus on the chromosome in a population, then it will be said to be a multiple allele. In the next lecture I will give you the more detail about genetics. Up till then, thank you.